That's very well said, for sure. I'm also interested. So now that you have, brought a lot of your writing style to your book content creation, how has the feedback been from, okay, I know she is a book content creator, but now she's stepping into this arena of being an author and writing books. So how's that been? How's that shift come with your audience background?
Oh, it's really really interesting. I think I have obviously a more unique perspective into coming into my like author career. Because I've got a lot of friends who have, published, and so when I like formally announced like, "Hey, like I wrote this book," like I had an influx of just so much support and love and encouragement, which I am incredibly thankful for and grateful for because I know that's not everybody's experience. But my biggest thing is always community. I think I love to bring people together and I love to have the conversations and I love supporting and uplifting other people. It's just within my nature to be that person that's like gushing over all her friends like, "Oh my god, I'm so happy for you." Like, and I'm happy that I've received that back, and I know like I just have so many resources of people who want to help me and see my journey and see me grow. And I think that's from like, the author side, from authors I know. But I think for people who follow me and my page, like my book content and are seeing that, I'm writing a book, I think my biggest thing has always been like, oh my gosh, like the expectation of what people are going to get from my story is something that I have to really manage people's expectations because I'm very bright, I'm very bubbly, I'm a light person. Like I'm like, hug me, hug me, let's hug, let's, chat, let's laugh, let's giggle. But my writing is not light and fluffy. It's very emotional, it's very heavy. And I handle some topics that I think aren't typically seen, especially in contemporary romance. So, I've had a lot of people who are just like, I was expecting to get something, light and fluffy and like a little cowgirl situation. I'm like, yeah, girl, but that's not this.
Right.
That's not this. And so I had a chat recently with a friend, and she was telling me like, sometimes the people that who are like the happiest, the brightest, have like the most things they've had to overcome to,
Right.
be that way and to find that light and to see that joy. And I think, yeah, I fought to be this joyful person. Like at my core, I am very joyful. I mean, I'm bright and big, like that's me. But I value that a lot, but I also feel like there's so much to be appreciated about things that are a little bit heavier and how they can shape you and show you how to appreciate the lighter things in life. And it's not just a silly little romance book. People love to downplay the romance industry, but there's a lot of lessons that can be learned from these stories, and I definitely can attest to that.
No,
Definitely.
I think you're absolutely right. And no matter what, stories change people, right? So whether it's from the romance, whether it's from fantasy, whether it's even an autobiography, we get, we, the readers, get morphed and changed through great storytelling. So it doesn't really matter what genre it is. If it speaks to you, you become a different person from interacting with those stories.
Yeah.
I'm also interested, do you feel like your role in the book space is changing because of that duality of being an author and a writer? Content creator and a writer. And the reason why I say that is because when I was talking to Melissa from Steamy Lit, she says now that she's gone into a lot of business, she feels like there's a different role she has to play when it comes to being willing to be critiqued and all these different things. So I'm interested to see how you feel about that, like that juxtaposition of being a creator and an author.
Yeah, I think my role in this community has changed in a little bit of a um my perspective on what kind of content I'm putting out. Like what I say has a little bit of a different weight, I think, than someone who isn't actually also an author. Mostly because a lot of people make a comparison, regardless of like whether it's a valid comparison or not. Like, I don't typically read the types of books that I am writing. So, like, I don't read a lot of like contemporary romance. And there's only a few small town romance authors that I just love that I read, but I'm mostly reading like dark romance, like fantasy. So that's like, I love all the things that are kind of pushing the boundaries of what we see every day type of reading. Okay, so my audience is very, very attuned to like my likes and dislikes in a story. So I get book recommendations all the time. Like
Yeah.
I cannot even begin to to tell you. Like I get books on my Kindle that someone sent me like almost every day. I get DMs from authors like, "Hey, do you want to read this?" like type of thing. And I think since I've announced that I am an author, I've sort of pulled back more so from um sharing my opinions about books that I didn't resonate with as much, just because I feel like it's a lot harder for me um to how do I say that? Not necessarily for me to share my honest opinion, because you'll be able to find my review anywhere. Like the fact of the matter is every book is just not going to be for every single person, and you're not going to find true love with every single book you open. Sometimes they just don't work out for you. And I think for me, I've shifted my page more so to really uplifting the stories that I love and really working with creators and authors that I absolutely love, because I want to be able to have a positive vibe on my page. Like I want a lot of positivity. Not to say that I've ever been bashing or been negative, but I just
Yeah.
don't want to put that there, because I don't want people to make comparisons between, what I like and I don't like as a creator, as opposed to like judging me as an author, like, oh, so this is the standard, or like this is what I can expect or not expect or whatever. So it's creating those boundaries between the two parts. So like, yeah, read my book. If you hated it, okay, that's nothing to do with me. So like, I mean, and so like, I don't want people to feel like they think that I am someone who's saying like, "Oh, like, well, if it's not me, then it's gonna be bad," or whatever, like comparing what I've written to what I don't like, or comparing what I've written to what I do like. I just want to be able to create a boundary between like, "Hey, these are the things that I love, and this is what I'm sharing about only." Like, I'm not gonna spend any time talking about things that I don't like, and I also want to spend time on my author page just really sharing about only my book, and I don't
Exactly.
feel like I want there to be a hard line between those two places. Like there are people who obviously intersect. Like there are people who only know me as the author, and there are some people who only know me as the content creator. And if you're on both sides, I want there to be a very clear divide about what you can find on either of those spaces.
Yeah, and I think it's that kind of that shift from being jet like a consumer to a producer. Like you're now the author that's putting out these books into the world. So there's also that sense of you don't want to feel like you're bashing another author now that you're in the space, right? So I think that makes a lot of sense from what you're talking about. If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookumapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.